So Alfred, thanks so much for having me here today at your headquarters. Obviously we hear a lot about Palo Alto, and I'm here because I've heard that you're making some moves or doing some developments to increase your penetration in the service provider or CSP market. What's going on?
Thanks, Steve, for coming. We do have some exciting things going on. The PA7080 is a new chassis-based system that we have, and extending and allowing us to continue to grow inside the carrier and service provider market.
What's the big differentiator for service providers if they're using this product versus, say, a traditional security portfolio approach that they might have used before?
The typical legacy firewalls that are being used by the carriers and service providers today are really port and protocol based layer 3 type of firewalls. And what that means is that they make all of their traffic decisions simply based on IP to IP source destination IP addresses, ports, source destination ports, and protocols. What that does is it's a very simplistic way of allowing and denying traffic as it flows across their network, and doesn't give them visibility into the applications that are actually flowing and actually securing the applications or understanding what applications are there or what risks are associated with various applications and what threats might ride over those applications and what threats they are to not only their infrastructure but also to their customers.
And you can do that?
Absolutely.
All the way up to layer 7?
That is correct.
So you can secure the application or the service that the application is enabling?
That's correct.
I mean, how do you do that?
It's a combination of software as well as hardware. The hardware that we have enables us, it's a purpose-built architecture, which enables us to scale up the throughput with the PA7080 all the way up to 200 gigabits per second. It's also a software-based solution in terms of we use a lot of protocol decoders and accelerate it using merchant silicon, which is purposefully built. The boards are all designed in-house here. And we utilize software with protocol decoders in order to analyze that traffic on the fly, in order to first identify the applications, but then have a threat scanning mechanism afterwards, also within hardware, which allows us to then protect those allowed applications.
And you say it supports 200 gigabit per second rates. I mean, that's extraordinarily fast if you're doing all of that kind of analysis on the traffic. How have you avoided there being a big performance holdup from securing the traffic at that level?
From the very first time that we started, we came out with a 10 gigabit per second box over 8 years ago. And so from that very first instance of having 10 gigabits per second over 8 years ago, we again had to use dedicated hardware chips at every single layer, whether it's at the network processing layer, security processors. We even have dedicated threat scanning in hardware with FPGAs as well. And so that coupled together with software that's been architected to inspect the traffic once, not send it through a bunch of different modules.
Right.
And so it's integrated in terms of software working together and using the hardware acceleration that we have in order to accelerate to get to that 200 gigabit per second mark.
And it's not doing serial inspections, it's not inspecting a packet once for one thing and then once for something else and sort of rerouting it. Okay,
that's correct.
That's very exciting. How do you think this product is going to help a network architect who's responsible for enabling services on a 21st century network do their jobs? What problem is it solving for them now?
Well, it's definitely changed. The market's changed and their jobs have in turn changed. And so it's not just about speeds and feeds for those guys.
Those are table stakes now, right?
Absolutely. They actually have to understand the business and how to enable specific applications, specific services, and how to safely enable that with security in mind. As you know, security's top of mind and a huge concern for their customers as well as their own infrastructure. And so having to build in security now and also visibility and control over the applications that are traversing the network is the things that they have to deal with. And so we allow them to be able to do that with the PA7080.
So tell us about some of the features of the product which allow it to serve in a service provider network.
Well, it was really designed for the service providers, anywhere from being NEPS compliant to being able to have DC power supplies, multiple ones at that, being able to plug in multiple network processing cards, as we call them, to scale up the performance, to being managed as a single system and not individual blades within a chassis. All of that allows them to definitely provide security at scale and to be able to identify traffic and applications that are traversing the network.
Perfect. And is there a virtualization component here? We hear about NFV the whole time, and one of the really hot issues in telecom and next generation communications now is virtualized managed security services. Is that something that you can help service providers to enable?
Absolutely. We believe that there's a play for large chassis devices like the device that we have, but also within the virtualized environment we have a virtualized instance of our firewall. And so really allowing for that flexibility in deployment to be able to have virtualized services where you're able to instantiate a Palo Alto Networks firewall within the virtualized environment.
As a VNF?
As a VNF.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Be able to give it the right policies, to instantiate it for orchestration within your virtualized environment, to be able to scale it to however you want to within that giving you that flexibility within the virtualized environment.
Yeah.
With the same level of security and protection.
Yeah. And is there a particular type of CSP that you're targeting with the product? I mean, is it web scale, OTT, tier 1, or all of the above?
We do think we have a broad market to be able to hit. I think a lot of the mobile security guys, in terms of very, very fast firewalling, definitely we meet their needs.
Fantastic, and congratulations. It sounds really exciting. Thanks so much for meeting with us today, Alfred.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.